Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Plastic Crack Podcast, Season 6, Episode 11. Thank you to everybody who is watching on the replay. Thank you to Boards and Swords for sponsoring us. Thank you to Glenn for coming on. Thank you to Steve and Dom for remembering to turn up. What else we do? Thank you to everyone who watches. Go and do all the shield stuff that Steve asks you to do down below, where you can subscribe to our channels and the Facebook page and all of those things. Let's get all that stuff out of the way first. How is everybody?
I'm a bit shell-shocked by all that flurry of announcements there.
I'm impressed. That was next level delivery.
It's just so I don't have to remember later on, because we've got far more interesting things to talk about, and I won't get one of those annoying messages later that says you forgot to say thank you. Oh, okay, I'll do it now. Guys, thank you for joining us tonight. Once again, we've been joined by Glenn from Warbases, from up north. How are you doing?
Up north. I'm even further up north than Steve.
I know.
Well, this is it. See, when you're on, it's the real north, and Steve's
north.
So
It's over the wall north.
Yeah.
Not you pretending northerners, Steve.
Well, when we were in Derby at the weekend, and I remember somebody told me this before, we were walking to the pub, a new pub, guys, found a new pub, and there's a statue of Bonnie Prince Charlie.
Yeah.
And apparently that's as far south as he got, was Derby. I didn't know that, and I was like, that's quite far.
that is quite far.
You know, that's past you, Steve.
God, yeah.
Oh, brilliant. But look, Glenn's joined us. We're gonna be talking about Warbases, what Warbases has been up to, what's coming as well, plus all the normal stuff to do with project updates, you know, and news, because there's been quite a bit of news, but it's been 2 weeks, so you know,
yeah, it's been 2 weeks.
we go.
It has been a lot, and some quite big
there has been a lot. Yeah, it's been a busy 2 weeks. I'm a year older. I don't feel wiser.
Yeah, happy birthday to you.
I feel poorer. Thank you.
I mean, you look more haggard, mate. I'm just going to say.
I do. I feel more haggard. I turned 41 and had to go to the dentist. That was my reward.
Oh, happy birthday!
But let's see. Yeah, let's see who has joined. So Paul's Paint Shed. Hello from Mercia. Jonathan Ward is here. Pat Neal, Lionheart's here. Lazy Pirate Painting, Major Clanner, Bill Dutton, Carl Burks, Trey Janik. How you doing? Glad to see everybody got back safely. Steve Harbour, Mark Richards, Alid's here. Greta Prigo, Trevor Hodges. There's no way I'm going to get for everyone, so I'm just going to keep going until it disappears. Mobile and Hostile, Rich John, Wargamer of Kent. That's an excellent title. Hello. Dutch Army Painter, David Teakle, Sam Ferguson, Eccentric Man, Paul Crouch. The real Steve is here.
Hey.
So it's all right. We can start. The real Steve. Is it real Steve? Where are you? Are you further north than us?
No, real Steve's not too far from me.
But is he further north?
Technically,
right behind that, Steve.
Yeah, technically, more northern, but not by much.
So are you now Southern Steve?
Look at that.
Ooh, that's intriguing.
Fighting words.
Robin's here. Swords and Sake. Morning from Japan.
Hey!
Wow, get on the map. Get it on the map.
I've got to do the map again, haven't I? Oh, wow. We haven't had Japan before.
That's excellent.
Brilliant.
Thank you very much. Hello. The plebiscite. Colonel 149 DKOK, how you doing? Robert Hobden, Shaco's here, right? James, Tim's here, Yorkshire Dragoon, Rich, Mike Schubert, Louis Baby, David Benton, Mogsy Makes, you right, James? Real Steve has just put Liverpool, and now they're all just discussing about. Oh no! And hi Sam, how you doing? From Norfolk. There we go. So anyway, welcome everybody. So as we're chatting today, if you guys have got any questions for Glenn related to Wargaming rather than just some kind of existential question about reality, which is what we had the last time somebody was on, that would be great. And California from California has just been hello. How are you doing?
Hello.
Brilliant stuff. How is everybody? Is everyone good? Is everyone refreshed? You've been on holiday, Dom.
I have. I've been on holiday. It was very nice. I was in Cyprus. Very good indeed. This is about sums up my holiday. I mean, I know I probably should have a warning with those feet, but that was There you go. It was very, very pretty, very nice. Lots of historical stuff and very relaxing. And I almost finished doing my Ottoman army list for or army for black powder for the army what I'm painting. So there you go.
Did you start a new project while you were away?
Ooh,
No, I
perfect.
didn't actually. I did start
Really?
thinking about recycling an old one. So I started planning one out. So yeah, that's going to happen.
When you say recycling, you mean using it for Wargame again, not just chucking it in the blue bin, right?
Yeah, no, not that one. Not that sort of recycling. No, I was thinking about some figures I have in just about seeing them in the blue things in the corner there that haven't been out for about 20 years. And I think they might have to be dusted down, rebased, and see what state they are for playing with. So yeah, that was it.
Excellent stuff. Glenn, have you been on holiday? Because
no. I mean, I'm off work currently this week, but no, I've not had a holiday. I've had my enforced Christmas holiday, but no, I've not been on holiday since September, August.
The life of a wargaming small trader such as yourself, Glenn, is full of holiday, isn't it? Obviously, you never you have plenty of time off all the time, and travel the whole of the country as well, don't you?
Yeah. I dialed back last year with the birth of my daughter. I flew down and back to Salute on the day last year, and I done second partisan. But I'm back in again doing shows this year, so we've done York and Hammerhead so far, and Salute a week on Saturday coming.
Is it only a week on Saturday?
Week on Saturday.
It's only week on Saturday, isn't it? Yeah.
Am I getting Salute mixed up with Easter? I thought Easter was a week on Saturday.
No, Easter's week after.
Oh, okay. Right, yeah, I've got Salute mixed up with Easter. I mean, it's more. I mean, to me, it's probably a bigger thing in my calendar for the Easter. So there we go. Excellent stuff.
I think your daughters might have another thing to say about that.
They probably. I'm back in London on that weekend anyway. We're palming them off on their grandparents for another day. So the excellent stuff. Right. So Glenn, the last time you were on, we just had because you had the buildings and stuff like that. So how did the pillboxes? You had the pre-painted. So those had just come out. So how's that all gone down? That sort of the stuff with those.
So yeah, the pillboxes went really well. Justified the time and effort that went into them more than. I mean, since that point, I've done 2 phases of 10 buildings for our industrial range. Kind of covers like kind of 1850 through to modern day, so trying to cover the core of World War I, World War II.
Oh, nice.
And then we took our Border Reaver range of buildings, which were, whilst we called them Border Reaver buildings, they were very generic stone-based buildings. Which we again put the artwork skin onto, which ended up with yellow brick, red brick, a yellow stone, a grey stone, and a kind of a grey harling effect on. So I'm in the process of working back through those. We've done 12 buildings with specifics, but I'm going back through the 12 buildings at the moment, putting each skin onto each kit. So at some point on the you'll be able to select a building and a skin for that building.
Oh, cool. Oh, that's cool.
So effectively, the 12 buildings effectively become 60 because there's 5 different sets of skins that can go onto them.
Oh, that's really cool.
Blimey, you don't make it easy for yourselves.
No.
Once I've done that, I have to go back through all of the industrial stuff as well, because again, I can do the same thing. Where I've got a building in red brick or yellow brick, I can do it in the other. It was what we've done at the moment was to be able to get something out there, but have a variety of products that's out there as well. So if a customer's looking at one of our kits online and they say they want it in a different skin instead, it is possible for me to take it, have a look at it, and see if it is possible to do.
That's
Which,
really cool.
yeah, it greatly expands what we can do with the products. The way that we've done it at the moment is so that we've got set ones, which is our core stock, which is what we carry for shows.
Yeah.
Purely because I just don't have the space to be able to carry every variety of every kit in colour.
That's really cool. No, that's. I mean, one of the other things we were chatting about when you were on last time was you'd had the advent of the old world had been released, so there was lots of people looking for more trays, and you had Midgard that was coming out as well because you made those big guard bases, which you'll probably see some more of shortly, actually. And so is that still continuing, or was there did you get like a big surge and that's right? But like, because as far as I can see, when I see pictures, it mostly seems to be MDF, and so I was assuming it was you guys that they were getting them from.
Yeah, we did see a spike in sales. The Midgard design specific trays have been very successful. After the trays, we also done the Raven dice.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I should maybe have chucked a photo on. I forgot about them.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
we've
no.
done the Raven dice. So there was like we spoke with James, and James said that the Raven needed to be on the 6 rather than the 1.
Yeah.
Is that right? No.
Or is it on the other way around? Yeah, the one is bad.
Yeah.
James is in the. James, tell us. I can't remember if it's a 6 or 1.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
Yeah. That's it, because there's 6 different. Is it? There's 6 different designs of ravens.
James
isn't
says
there?
it's on the 1. So yeah, we could find dice with a blank 6, but we were really struggling for dice with a blank 1. Finally found a supplier, and we were able to bring them in. And we've been producing in excess of hundreds of sets of them to date so far. But yeah, the Midgard design stuff went down really, really well at the time. It's maybe slowed down a little bit now, but we are still shipping a lot out.
Are you going to be bringing those to Salute?
The dice or the trays?
The dice.
Possibly. It might be whatever we have on the shelf at the time. That's them, yeah.
Is that them?
They're really cool.
Yep.
They are really nice.
I do like
because Glenn, you do. I mean, you have dice on your site, don't you? But they're fairly just generic dice. Are you going to look at doing other sort of bespoke dice or things with different logos on or emblems?
Yeah, so we currently have in stock both the blank 6 side and the blank 1 side for D6 dice. And it's perfectly possible for us to be able to take a customer's artwork and place it onto the 6 side or the 1 side and produce them.
Right.
It is within the realms of possibility for us to be able to take totally blank D6 and put artwork onto all 6 sides, but it is a time-consuming, costly process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why we're focusing just on the single side.
That's cool. I like that.
That is very cool.
The old brain thinking of some ideas. Good.
Yes, I know. No, me too. I was like, we're probably having the same idea right now. I dare say. No, that's fantastic. No, we the Raven dice for me, I didn't actually see it. Was Robin on the other hand rolled quite he did see the Raven on his dice, even though they were, it's definitely the ones. Yeah, ones are bad. Ones are very bad.
At least if you got a set of them, Martin, you'd get full value out of the Ravens, wouldn't you? Because you'd see them.
I mean, you should have seen what happened to me at the weekend in the game of Midgard. We played. Not Midgard. Sorry, again, Ruckus. I was playing against Paul. I just got. I mean, I can't even really describe it. I spent longer setting up the second game than I think we did playing it. My troops didn't even arrive on the board till halfway through the game, and then he played a card where some peasants jumped out of out of some hard going terrain. And I think the idea is like that they're meant to be, a bit of distraction. They battered one of my contingent. One of my guys got killed by a woman with a pot on her head. Like she ran up to a billman and just beat him to death. All my crossbowmen got mishaps when they shot. So one of them did, and then they got systematically killed by peasants. It was a complete farce. I mean, it was very. I think that's the point in that game. It was very, ruckus, and that's it. But yeah, if I'd have had some dice with sort of an FU on the one, I think that would have probably been that would have been definitely what was happening.
I love it.
Oh dear. No, that's very cool. Well, what I thought we'd do, because Glenn has sent me quite a few things that we're going to have a chat about. So we'll just give Glenn a little bit of rest and then just catch up with everybody. But obviously, keep on posting your questions. I am starring them as we go through. There's a lot of comments on Dom's legs.
I noticed that. Yeah.
So we'll have that. But
I haven't had to comments on my legs for a long time, so I'm quite pleased. Thank you, chaps.
What, the core injunction ran out now, Dom?
It has, yeah.
Well, on that note, Dom, have you painted a whole army while you've been away?
No, I haven't, but I have painted something this week. So I haven't. I haven't really got back into painting. I only got back from Cyprus last Thursday, and then we had a really busy weekend again. So I haven't done that much. Haven't had much chance, but I have had a game, which was kind of fun. We had went to the club and had a game of GDA 2 with Jono.
Nice.
You have no idea what that one is from there, but it's actually it is actually Quatre Bras. You wouldn't know that, but that's what it is. It was a brutal game. I was playing French, and I'm pleased to say I got a lot of them killed because it was very, very difficult for them to accomplish what they needed to accomplish. So that was fun. Nice to get the figures going and having the dice rolled out and what have you. But I did paint up. Where's it gone? There we go. I got on with some more Confederates. I realised I got an awful lot of officer group figures there, but so I went through all the leftover figures I had on all the stuff that I hadn't got around to painting yet from all the ones I've already done, and I thought, right, I'm going to start getting some single-based ones for playing, because I played the game Sharp Practice using American Civil War, and realised I had virtually no single figure, so I went through and painted. I've started to paint some, so these just happened to be the big men that were there that I painted up. And then I did
spectacular beard on that chap, Dom. Spectacular.
The guy on the horse, yeah. I mean, it's a proper.
That's an American Civil War beard, that isn't it? I mean,
you only have to see that beard, and you know what period it's from, don't you?
Oh God, yeah, yes,
yeah, absolutely. I think they're first corps figures, those the horsemen, and then just some these will be skirmishers that I can use with the. If I do. I can either use them as skirmishers for games or just as, say, if I play another Sharp Practice, then I've got them. But I've got a load more I'll work over in the next few weeks. But yeah, that's all. Cool. That's all done.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
that was nice. That was nice and succinct for one. just in the nicest possible way. Steve, have you also managed to do something in 2 weeks?
Yeah, it's all 10mm stuff. I'm slightly obsessed at the moment with this 10mm painting. So to start off with, I bought. Where is it? I bought an aquarium ornament and turned it into that.
Of course you did.
That is very cool. I did. Yes.
They are brilliant. The ornaments from pet shops for going in the bottom of tanks are fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Aren't they?
I've got this. I've got this from Amazon. It wasn't that. It was advertised as like a stone grey. It'd obviously been funkied up for the photograph. But when I got mine was brown.
What are you going to say for the fish?
Oh God, no. Well, possibly. Mine was brown with some horrendous dry brushing over it. So I only paid about £10 for it. So I set to with dry brushing and some clump foliage and some static grass, and that's my 10mm Necromancer's Castle.
Nice.
I was quite chuffed with that.
Yeah, very good.
So I've been just concentrating on the 10mm stuff. So what have we done so far? So over the weekend I painted. Well, not over the weekend. Last weekend I finished a base of skeleton cavalry.
Whee.
10 millimeter. It just astounds me how small these things are. I don't know. I'm not big up on my fish, even though I do watch River Monsters a lot. Oh, I love that program. But no, I'm not down with fish. So what else? Oh, so the weekend I painted. These are brilliant. These aren't strictly undead. But these are some ogre mercenaries.
They're right. Those are cool.
He looks like an American football player, the one in the middle.
He's got, yeah. I've got 3 more to paint. One of them is a woman, and she's using a cannon as a club, which is quite interesting.
I like that. That's brilliant.
What else is there? I painted some dire wolves.
Oh my goodness!
Oh, those are cool.
They took no time at all to paint. They're just so simple. What else was there? Oh, I've added. What I'm doing now is I'm probably going to try and play War Master with this lot.
Oh, so, what's it? Not War Master Revolution. There's a whole online one, isn't it?
It's just I'm such a rabbit hole with that. So what I'm doing is I'm increasing all units to 3 bases. So that's all my skeleton infantry. 3 so that's 2 units. What else is there?
That looks like epics.
Which it's smaller, but I just enjoy painting them. They're just so much fun to paint, and this is what I've done so far. So that's the whole army so far.
Ah,
brilliant!
That's very cool.
So on the desk at the moment is another unit of zombies, another unit of Wraith Guard, which will complete the Wraith Guard base. I've got a base some ghosts, and I've got a vampiress on a horse to paint. So. Yes, it's a bit of an obsession at the moment. I can't stop.
Well, so basically, what you're saying, after a small return to Phil Gray and World War II, you've suddenly relapsed back into weirdness again.
Back into weirdness, complete weirdness. Oh, another thing I did, I posted it on the Facebook group a couple of weeks back. I'm repurposing Space Weirdos into Old West Weirdos.
Okay.
So I've taken the mechanics from Space Weirdos and introduced I got rid of the psychic phase because it's Wild West and introduced
a psychic phase. Can have some drink enough whiskey.
Oh well, yeah.
Everyone thinks they're a psychic.
So I removed that, but I put in a reload action instead. So people now keep counts of how many bullets you fired. It worked really well. I did a solo game of it. It lasted 4 turns. The game was it lasted for 45 minutes, and by the end of it, out of 8 people that started, 6 were dead.
Just your kind of game, that, isn't it?
It's brilliant. It just shows why it works so well.
Okay,
I really enjoyed it.
Nice.
Well, I've doing some 10mm stuff sort of in the background. And I know Robin, I believe, has put in a big order with Glenn for bases, which we're hopefully going to be picking up at Salute. But yeah, I've been trying some 10mm stuff, but that's on the background. They're on my work desk actually. I find them quite therapeutic after I've had a really bad phone call with someone. Is just pick up a little strip of miniatures and paint them. Sorry, Steve, I cut you off there. Have you got any other?
No, sorry, that's it. That's it. No, 10mm for the foreseeable.
Well, my what have I been doing? So, just on the miniature painting front, because I did attend the Carry On Cracking at the weekend. That was put together by Paul, just as sort of a casual meetup. And
he's been cut off in his prime. Must be the dentist coming back and strangling him.
Tables for game. Oh, did that just drop?
There he is. He's back.
Did that drop?
I think you're having one of those psychic moments that Steve was talking about.
I was. Yeah. No, I was saying. There were 4 games. There was a massive Napoleonic Black Powder game, which Haley took part in with David, Sam, Steve. John, hey, my cavalry went further across the battlefield than I've ever managed to get them, which was fun. The Marmalukes did die, Dom. You'll be pleased to hear.
Good.
True to form. They carried on. They're amazing. So she played that. I was doing Ruckus. There were Soldiers of Napoleon, and then there was Beneath the Lily Banners as well. We had a really good day. Some
looked really good. Really good.
It was really nice not having to organise anything.
Yeah,
it was great. I got to play a game. 2 games. I got the stuffing kicked out of me by Paul and by the game itself, and by my own men at one point. Do you know one thing? I pulled a card that meant it rained, so I couldn't shoot anything either. So it's just like,
well, when you're shooting, that probably wasn't a bit of a problem.
Exactly. Really, yeah. But miniatures wise, so I finished something else for the Great Northern War. I did share this in the group. I finished with the first of my batteries for my Russians.
Very nice.
So I did a pair of 6-pounders for the Russians. So in Beneath the Lily Banners, they sort of suggest that you have one gun. So like if you're doing like an average size game, you just have like a single gun, but like per force. But as it's the Russians, you can double up on that because guns are better than people in their army list. But yeah, I tried to sort of vary it up a little bit. And the cool thing is those STLs come with a lot of options for crew. So there's the only duplicates on there actually are the 2 bombardiers. There's one down here and right on the foreground in the corner, and then there's another one as far as he can possibly be away. Because I just wanted them sort of like protecting.
When you posted that, Martin, I did notice about the complete lack of duplicates. I thought they were all like all individual.
Yeah, the only thing I duplicated on there, which someone kindly pointed out, was the heads. So they all look like they're from one big incestuous family. Because I don't know what it was, because I printed off loads of the heads in one go. I think I did like 100 on one plate, and I've just picked them out. I think there's like 12 variations.
To be deliberately random, and whenever you try to be deliberately random, and then, you're not.
Yeah, so I got those, and then I finished some more stuff for my Arthurian forces, and this is, I'm sure, Glenn's going to recognize these trays. So I needed to do. I just wanted to get some light cavalry in there, and on the sort of cusp, these are meant to be Welsh, but whatever, they can just be any light cavalry, sort of Arthurian, Dark Age, whatever cavalry. So we got those. These are mixed with Victrix bits as well, because they're exactly the same size. So there we are. So they're on the Sabbath. And then there's a unit of infantry as well.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
So you've got Gripping Beast, Welsh. I bought the Welsh set because I like the little capes. Then you've got one Victrix guy in the middle who scales really nice. But most of those heads, I think there's 4 Gripping Beasts. The rest of the heads are all Victrix, and some of the arms as well.
Nice.
They all fit in really, really nicely.
Play nicely.
Yeah. So I've got those. So there, that unit's done. And then I finished another commander. So I finished the standard bearer for the commander. The commander on the left, which is Mordred from the Heroes of Camelot set, the Arthurian one, which is my favorite miniature in that set. I needed a banner, and that banner is from the Warlord Chronicles set that Little Big Men did. So that's Mordred's banner from that. So I just built together that Victrix miniature, sliced his spear away, gave him the banner, created a plug. So I used the test of honor bases that Warbases produce to do my commanders. So you got the free holes, and then if it's a level 3 hero, there's 3 miniatures on there. If it's a level 2, there's 2. And I just, on a 25mm base, I just create a whole load of like a bush or something and plug to get the hole. So if he's lower level, so yeah, I was pleased. That's nice. They'll be taken to the table soon. I hope. Hopefully in a good way. is what I would like. But I'm going to be having to put in another order, Glenn, because I need more bases from what I've got. I need more. Just more. Well, I found a whole load of Arthurian cavalry, like heavy cavalry. I didn't know I had. Because I must have gone for, I think whenever I see something that's Arthurian and cool, I buy it and then I just stash it. And now I've got something to sort of do with them. So I'm enjoying it. But anyway, right, Glenn. Let's chat about how do you want to start this? Because you've got multiple things that you said is coming out. Because of course, you sent what we finished on last time was the haggis from the Bifrost range, which you kindly sent over to us and was the star prize of the raffle. And then when we did the second sort of round of the raffle, there was, I think everyone was trying to get them. They are fantastic. And I was just trying to think, if you just did an army in Midgard, you could just have a whole base of those, just one of those trays just filled with haggis. That would be amazing.
Units and units of them.
Oh, you just give them all the rules. You just give them like the brutal rule, the
lovely. And you can have neeps and tatties behind them. Brilliant.
So the Bifrost Rangers continue to expand, right?
Yeah, just a bit.
Right then. Take it away.
Yeah.
Maybe Glenn, you want to explain to people who maybe weren't on the previous ones what the idea behind this particular, why you're having the Bifrost. What do you call? I forgot.
Bifrost
range, and sort of where that fits in with Warbases. Maybe that was a good starting point.
Yeah. So going way back, not to confuse everybody, my dad's also called Martin, not that Martin, different Martin.
Yeah, different Martin. Yeah.
And back in the 80s, we were playing Red Box D&D.
Mm-hmm.
And he was big into D&D, big into Dungeons and Dragons. And through the 80s into the 90s, that kind of faded away. And then when he started Warbases in 2007, he always kind of had a hankering to want to do fantasy miniatures again. And kind of timing never really kind of worked out. Finances needed to always be put somewhere else instead. And then in 2019, we took the plunge and we started working on the first set of figures that would be released at Salute in 2020, which then was cancelled. So we just kind of done an online soft launch and then a rework for later. And from, I was looking back at the photos, from 6 heroes and I think it was a handful of packs of kind of dungeon creatures, we are now at, I think it's about 130, 140 codes now.
Wow.
So last year, me and Martin sat down and we had a chat. A lot of our figures, skeletons, goblins, those kind of packs were six castings, and we supplied the customer with a random set of 4. And we decided to take the 6s, add an additional 2 figures, and then supply them as two available packs of 4, which meant that we had a massive rework job on, which meant that we had 11 codes covering skeletons, goblins, our kobolds, and our toadmen. We've reworked those, which now equates to 30 new packs of figures.
That is awesome.
Wow.
Very good.
That is very good.
Yeah, so our plan was to release some of them last year. Issues with timing, molds, staffing meant that it was the job that always got put to the back. And we said, right, we're going to do a big release over 4 weeks on the build up to Salute, where we will release all 30 packs of figures in time for Salute.
That's very cool. I mean, the big thing to say, because they obviously, as you said, they got that classic. One of my favorites is the fish folk. I really like. I really like the fish folk. and they've got that, they're very classic, but you've also got things in there like there's barrels, there's piles of books, if I remember as well, and like some bottles. There's little scenery things, but a lot of the peasants and the blacksmiths and that, those are, even though I know you say designed with sort of that fantasy sort of element in there, they're perfectly useful for medieval war game, for across historical wargaming as well.
So something like our blacksmith set was actually originally designed for historical wargaming as a scenic item. We looked at that and we seen that as a code that would fit in with the Bifrost range. So is the same pack of figures, same cost. It's just repackaged as a Bifrost figure as well.
That's very cool. No, nice. So what you've sent me. So if I share this first, now this first one, I love this because these were my favorite enemies to fight when I played D&D because I could win. But you need a lot of them. You do need a lot of them when you're playing these. So here we go. Let's share this. These are awesome. So here we are. These are the kobolds. Dom, do you know what a kobold is?
I do. I used to play D&D back in the day, mate.
I wasn't being condescending. I was just wondering. I was like, normally we have to translate.
No, I know what they are.
Excellent.
Yes.
Everyone should have a kobold. I mean, these are fantastic. So
I know my kobolds from my hobgoblins, from my.
Your kobold. Your kobolds from your orcs.
I do.
So chat us through the set. So you've got sort of a range set and a command set and some melee sets.
Yeah. So originally this was 6 figures. We've now expanded it so it's 16.
Wow.
We now have a command pack which has a magic user, leader, a trap setter, a musician, and a bannerman. And then we've got 3 packs of 4 archers, swordsmen, and spearmen. So kind of like core units that you would kind of imagine to come across.
That's very cool. And because you always do. I mean, to be fair, you always do need hundreds of these things when you play a game because they come in on mass. Is it? They're related to. Was it a newer thing where they ended up they ended up being related to dragons? Aren't they like little mini like they were dragon bush thing? I always remember there being a dragon in some of the adventures that we played. Which is also very cool because you do sell some chunky stuff along those lines as well, don't you? Because you've got something like the lizard folk and stuff that you could mix in if you were having like an encounter with them.
So we've got a pack of 4 kind of lizard folk as well, and then we do have a big I think it's a 2-piece resin, 3-piece resin cast dragon as well.
Is that the one that's curling around like a rock?
Yeah, it's the one that's kind of you've got kind of like a small kind of indent cave in it that you could put treasure into. But
or a kobold. You could have a little kobold down the bottom.
It's a big 3-piece resin kit as well.
That's awesome. So when are those going to be released? Are they out?
So those 4 packs of figures will be online this Friday and will be available from Salute on the 12th of April.
Excellent. No, so this is the thing. I've got nothing that I think I'd use kobolds for at the moment, but I really want some kobolds because just for the nostalgia of having them. There's quite a few things I've been going through. I've been trying to be good this year and make a list for Salute, so I don't just do that thing where I turn up and panic.
Go for a drink at lunchtime, and that'll be it.
Everything like that. So I have got a few things which I'll which I do want to come on. Are you bringing the whole Bifrost set with you?
The entire Bifrost range is coming, so it's expanded now. So it now fills 3 full grid walls, 3 6-foot grid walls. Awesome. So we're not far off of spilling over onto a 4th now.
That's so cool.
But yeah,
it must be really nice to see that sort of expand that way.
Yeah, it's something that I spent quite a bit of time on last summer, and it's something that I'm really pleased to see kind of come to fruition now. And yeah, really excited to see how these new packs go this at Salute. in a week's time. Because I love the range. I love working with our sculptors about it. And yeah, it's a fun range for us. It's something that we enjoy doing.
Yeah.
It's not a labor of love. It is something that we do genuinely enjoy working on.
I think you can tell that in the type of sculpts and the type of poses you get. I mean, you got a pack of giant midges. I mean, that's amazing. I just want, I think the idea in there, but it's a really good way. It's because there is that. I think there's quite a few RPG stands at Salute this year. So there's going to be people looking, for RPGs, and that little crossover of getting the gribblies and the things that you need for those games. And with what you guys do, and of course you have the bases and the tiles and all those bits as well. It just kind of works really well. Do you? I know we'll come on to the other bits of Bifrost, but what's your favourite sort of Bifrost stuff that you've done so far, other than the haggis?
Oh, I was going to say it has to be the haggis. That was one of those mad ideas that I had driving down the road in the morning, and getting in the morning and going, man, I've had this stupid idea, and he looks at you and he goes, oh, what now? And you start to explain it to him, and you can kind of look at him, and you can kind of see him coming around to you, and by the end of it, you're like, this is a good idea.
Got him.
But if I'm not allowed to say the haggis, then it's the next the big one that we're going to talk about next.
All right. Well, really, it was you saw the haggis on the hillside, didn't you? And that was what it was. That's what inspired you.
In the morning light.
Yeah, in the morning light, listening.
Let's the
big one at the end. That's another one of my in the car hairbrain ideas. That one took a little bit more convincing, to be honest, but yeah.
I mean, I'm glad you did. I mean, I know Steve especially is going to like it. So let's bring up the next one on Bifrost on here. So we've got the Toad Men.
I love these. These are just so cool.
Yeah, just little froggy men. This is 4 of, I think, 8 packs. I think it is total for these guys. The ones with the blowpipes is a completely brand new pack. That's that was a brand new one that our sculptor. That was actually our sculptor came to us with that idea.
That's cool.
And we ran with it. So yeah, we get ideas from sculptors as well. So I think the fish folk came from our sculptor as well. So we have 2 traditional sculptors and a 3D sculptor. The Toad Men are 3D sculpts, as are the next ones that you'll discuss. But I love the little froggy guys. They're just so funny, and there's so much character involved in them. And our 3D guy loves to make dynamic poses, and those are fantastic because they're all none of them are just standing there. They're all doing something.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. You've got James going. And I used the Toad Men. I could use them as formulas for Celtic myth games. I didn't know I needed them. Excellent. And well, I'm assuming that James gets an unlimited supply of the trays. But if not, James, you know where you can buy the trays for your own game. No, that's fantastic. I think there's some people who've now just headed over and they're looking at Bifrost because there's a lot of his. I love the Mimic. I love the Toad. I love the Birdmen. This is all coming out in the chat at the minute. I did see the Birdmen before because they did remind me of the what's the puppet film? The Dark Crystal, the sketch.
Oh,
scared the hell out of me as a kid. And if I need some, but no, they very cool. So shall I bring? I'll bring up the next. Well, I'll bring up the first of the big things.
The first one, yeah,
that you sent me.
Yeah.
I mean, why not?
Yeah, basically, it is a Triceratops head with an Ankylosaurus back, but it has a Thagomizer tail to it. So we've kind of gone proper fantasy, and we've just dramashed 3 of them together.
Somewhere there's a paleontologist getting really angry.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, but I love it. There's so much character to it. It's fantastic. I love it.
Mm.
The next one is the harebrained idea that I had, and that was born out of the back of it.
Okay, I'm gonna bring the next one up because it's that screams you.
That is awesome. That is so cool.
I had a mad idea where I thought, how cool would it be to then put a howdah onto the back of it? And yeah, it just works so well. It's designed to go with the Toadman figures, but I mean, to be honest, you could put anything in there. You could put goblins in there or orcs or anything.
Get your heroes in there. I mean, you need a mount for traveling. I mean, why do you need separate horses when you can just
you can all travel in one?
Exactly. That's so cool.
That is cool. Again, that was another one of my mad ideas coming down the road in the morning and sitting there and trying to convince Martin to actually go ahead with it. And again, it's a 3D sculpt, so it's the same sculptor that's done the Toadman, and he lives local to us. And I sent him some kind of ideas, and he kind of went, I think we could maybe do something. And he came and we sat down, we worked on some stuff, and he went, this is stupid, but it will work.
It will work. Good.
I mean, I like the backhand. The backhand is that's great, but you have to have faith.
So again, this is a resin piece kit. The back section is effectively a plug. So you can plug the Ankylosaurus back in, and it's your basic dinosaur, or you can take that out and you can put the plug in with the howdah instead. They'll be available as two separate figures, so you can buy one or the other. But I love that. That is our big release for Salute this year, and I'm so excited. I mean, I am sitting here now talking about this, saying that we're going to have this at Salute. We are still waiting on our stock from our resin caster. So I'm keeping everything crossed that they appear sometime this week whilst I'm not in the unit.
They are cool. What's how much are the dinosaurs?
That is a fantastic question. One of which
Sorry.
I should have known the answer to before we sat down for this conversation. And one that I can find out.
We know that Martin has a fixation for dinosaurs. We know he went and bought a whole load of very expensive ones, which we've never seen like a day of. But I bet he buys some of those at Salute.
I know the dinosaurs that you're referring to, and I bought them from a shall we say a well-known war games company who are in the FTSE index. I painted one, got my fix, and then was like, I don't want to do this now. But that was one little one. Now that, because the Triceratops is obviously the best dinosaur, and I'll fight you for that. And so, I mean, that is just awesome. But see, you're making my list grow, and it's
yeah.
those Toadmen, they are so.
I could just. Swordweird. I mean, sword.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking of. Swordweird, because I was actually looking through my collection today. I have got very few single-based fantasy figures for Swordweird.
I thought you were about to say you were looking through your collection and you went, you know what I need? Toads and dinosaurs. But now you do.
That's a combination with no drawbacks whatsoever.
But they are awesome. But no, I encourage people to go and check them out. Again, there's so much cool stuff. I mean, I play a lot of things like Rangers of Shadow Deep, and there's loads of bits and bobs in because you'll meet just random monsters. But you've got the other bits on there, haven't you? There's little coffin sets, and there's all just these sort of the things that you used to classically meet in the dungeons, like the mimics, Toad Weirdos. Toad Weirdos. There you go, Steve. Steve, you got your work cut out for you.
I'm on that. I am on it.
There we go.
Excellent.
All sorted. Are you doing any more of your black sheep stuff as well? What's that coming?
That's on the back burner at the moment. we're not overly sure where we want to go with that next. So that Black Sheep Miniatures was my range of figures. I sold it to Martin last year. I didn't have the time to commit to it. So it's something that there's some sculpts there kind of semi-done that we could work with. But it comes back down to the time involved.
Yeah.
And I'm spinning many plates constantly.
I bet.
But no, it is something that I would like to look back at and make some additions to at some point. Yeah.
Cool.
Excellent stuff. This before actually on that note, that might be a good because I've had a question in, which would be, and I know you've probably, I think we've talked about this before actually, but for the benefit of people who haven't seen it, how long? I guess obviously with miniature, the same is true, and I appreciate it's going to be different for MDF and miniatures and whatever. But how long does it take to take something from the idea to design to production to sale? Like, you know, how long are you sort of? I know the buildings are going to be different to the miniatures, but
yeah,
what sort of time scale are you looking at?
In terms of something like miniatures, the first hurdle to get over is depending on your availability of your sculptor. That's always kind of like the first hurdle. There is are they available to start on something now, or is it something that they're going to be looking at in a week or two or a month or two? But we would try and typically work on something about 6 months-ish in advance.
Okay.
Once we've got something from a sculptor, it's master molds, production molds. Figures need to get cleaned in between those stages. We have to send stuff to painters. Because we can't do any of that stuff in-house, we're always relying on someone external doing those jobs for us.
Yeah.
So it's always down to a sculptor, your mold maker, your painter. We have our metal casting facilities in-house, so we do everything ourselves on that side of things. But yeah, it depends on so many factors. What else I'm working on at the time? Do I have enough figures from a sculptor to be able to fill a master mold to make it financially viable? There's no point in sending one figure to a mold maker for a single mold, because it costs us 60 or 70 or 80 quid for a mold, which is why we have to fill it with 12 to 14 to 16 figures at 28 mils.
That's the thing, because when I think we talked about this with Richard from Bloody Miniatures back quite a while ago now, and he was saying, because at that point the range of Bloody Miniatures was small, and he was saying obviously when you go out of stock you have to make it worthwhile spinning, you know, getting each of the things spun, because you'll go out of stock of one particular pack a lot quicker than the other, and that way you end up overstocking one thing because every time you spin it you're getting excess of stuff that isn't necessarily selling well. So it really how those molds are filled and so what you're putting them is key.
Yeah, in terms of us for our production molds, we only put one code in one mold. So we never have excess stock of something totally different. When we spin one mold, we get that pack and nothing for anything else. When we first started out doing the metal casting about 10, 12 years ago, it was that case. It was how many packs can we get in one mold to keep the cost to a minimum. But then we found very quickly that we were casting out stock that's never going to sell or rarely sells, and we're having to spin the same thing 3 or 4 times to get one pack of figures. So yeah, we very quickly worked out the cost effect versus one mold with 4 packs, different packs in, versus 4 molds each with their own pack in, and learned very quickly that we'd be better off keeping an individual mold for an individual pack. But I mean in terms of time, we try and work on something in the region of about 6 months.
That's not a big period of time, to be fair. 6 months does fly past, especially if you're doing something like design, all the way through. That's quite quick. 6 months goes very, very quickly. If we think that Salute and how quickly Salute and Warfare and everything they come around, and obviously they're quite good dates for releasing things. That's not that long.
No,
I was expecting longer than 6 months. 6 months seems to be a really. I must be quite a hectic period though. But those 6 months.
Yeah, it's always hectic. It's always hectic. It's never. It's always constantly non-stop. And the thing is that, like I said, when we're having figures designed for us, it's to the box, it's to the mold maker, it's to the painter. So all of those parts we have nothing to do. And at that point, it's right. I've given all the concept artwork to the sculptor. It's let them get on with it. Let them do their bit, and I can do these 7 other jobs instead. And it's constantly like that for me. If I was doing all the sculpt work in house, if I was doing it myself, I'd never get anywhere with it.
Yeah, no, yeah, that sort of makes it. I mean, from that, is there because I think what we'll do, we'll ask you this next question. Then we'll give you a little bit of a break. We'll do the news, and then we'll look at the other other thing. So, but is there? This was a question that came in. This was from Robin. Is there a passion project that you want to design that just is not commercially viable?
Oh.
I love that you said it just isn't commercially viable because it just takes it off the plate. Is there something that you'd want to do that just makes no financial sense or will never
money
get
was
the
no object?
Yeah.
I don't know. I do genuinely enjoy working on the Bifrost miniatures range. And that is something that I do really enjoy. And I've got a whiteboard at work with about 30 or 40 new packs of figures that I'd love to get done. But we don't have the finances set there at the side at the moment for it. So it's one of those lists that I'm going to be chipping through. But yeah, I don't really know.
It's a bit of a horrible question to put someone on the spot with. Yeah.
Have a think about it. We'll come back to you.
Yeah. I think I might still be sat here kind of scratching my head. I don't really know.
I mean, I kind of feel like you need to have a haggis the size of a dinosaur to have that fight. So a haggis with a howl. Can you not have a giant haggis? Because your dwarves have got that Highland look, shall we say?
Yeah.
Could they have a holder on the back of a giant haggis that they could ride with happily?
Yeah, no, we could. Yeah, no, I'm liking where you're going with that.
I want what you're smoking, Martin. Jeez.
Well, I'm not even drinking. This is what this is whatever they prescribe.
Problem. This is where it's all gone wrong.
I mean, at that point you could have, kind of large wolf-sized haggis that
would be it.
On dwarven mounts, effectively.
Haggis rampant, as
haggis,
been put forward.
Haggis cavalry, effectively. But you could go further and have a giant haggis that's, okay.
Yeah. I think it's good. Yeah. I mean, it's got legs.
Can I put a pledge in for haggis rocket launchers? It's a catapult that fires.
You just want a whole range. When someone just launches a haggis at you?
Yeah,
like a doom, like one of the old doom types.
Big hairy haggis comes at you.
Haggis with a little parachute on it. Let's go. Let's just drop it.
Okay. Dear. I'm phoning about tomorrow morning.
Yeah, so I went on the PCP and the white.
I've had a great idea.
I need a new white.
I'm not sure he might be listening.
If you're listening, just say no in the chat.
I mean, well, that's it. But there we go. And we've got Midgard again. We can use the bases that Warbases do to make the game to do the Midgard. Use Midgard, which James is in the chat. that could be the big game at the next show. It'd be a haggis showdown against the Toadmen, the natural enemies from the swampy south against the hairy north. I don't know. All right. Someone's just said the Warbases website is dangerous. I've sneezed and now I'm 170 pounds light.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a haggis haggis with more boing.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, a haggis jousting content. We keep them coming, guys, because
Yeah.
hang on, there is, and then occasionally there we go. There's a sensible question. I'll put up. That's awesome. We'll give Glenn a little bit of a break and time to write down all of the ideas that you people are now throwing in there. Robin has just pointed out that is 170 pounds in the giant haggis fund. If everyone from here goes and orders just one pack of haggis, that will show how in demand haggis are, and then push the range.
Glenn can have that argument with Martin tomorrow morning on his car ride, and they'll say it's fine.
Just say, look, I've sold this much haggis. Now we need a bigger haggis. We're going to need a bigger haggis.
Now we need more.
We need more. And we need bigger.
More. Excellent. Right then, we'll give Glenn a little bit of a break, and then we'll come on to the next set of releases from Warbases. But we've got a little bit of news to get through. But no, none of it's. I don't know. It's going to take the Toadmen are going to take some bits. The Dinosaurs are going to take some beating. Get ready for the news. I don't know why I felt the need to elongate news. It's because I was preparing.
You need to get back drinking, mate. That's all I can say. You're falling apart.
Yeah, I know. The only really annoying thing is like we've actually, because it was my birthday, I got given loads of really nice beer, and it's all just sitting there, and I can't touch it. So, Dom, I know you've been busy collecting stuff from the
We've had 2 weeks, haven't we, of stuff. There's been quite a lot. So, So I thought I'd start with one that I know will make David Benton very happy. So this 10th Legion is a new subsection of Bacchus. So Bacchus bought the 10mm range from Magister Militarium, who retired end of last year sometime. The guys who run that, and so he's bought all the 10mm figures from there. And then using it as a separate sort of entity within Bacchus under the banner of 10th Legion. So if you want to get lots of 10mm goodness, I know one of our friends down there will be very pleased about that. 10mm, but there you go.
Another 6.
They're 6.
Hey?
They're 6.
They're 10s, aren't they?
No, 6.
It said on their thingy it's about 10
Oh,
mil.
maybe they're 10.
Yeah.
Oh, they're 10.
No, because that's what's unusual, because Bacchus usually is 6.
Oh, right.
These are 10mm. There you go.
Oh, that's just thrown me.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm all confused now.
That's why it's a separate brand, you see.
John's suggesting it's called Biggest Bacchus.
Biggest Bacchus. Very good, John. Well done. Well done. Yeah. What else? Blitzkrieg miniatures. Today they announced this. 23 new vehicles going up on their website. They didn't have pictures of all of them, but there's a few of them here. So that looks pretty lethal for your bolt action armies. And there's a nice little chaffee. I do like the chaffee.
Oh, nice.
And it's Panzer 38 something T, is that? I think something like that. I'm not up on my tanks, but yeah, lots of goodies. You can see 23 of them out, from everything from trucks through to swim tanks or swim cars, all sorts of stuff. So all in 28mm. There you go. A manufacturer that I don't think we feature very often, but have some amazingly good 15mm. Kurasan miniatures.
Yeah, they've popped up a couple of times in the last year, haven't they?
Yeah.
They are superb little figures. So these are Spanish Scutari type troops. You could use them for various Roman wars as mercenaries. You could use them in the Carthaginian armies, obviously. Lovely, lovely figures. I think they're sometimes a little bit tricky to get hold of in the UK. But yeah, that's a new selection they're bringing out, which I'm sure those 15 mil people will be very excited about.
Do we know how these compare to the Epic stuff?
I think they're a little bit bigger.
I was going to say these would look quite cool out in front of the
they would.
Those bit, yeah. That's pretty good.
They would. I think they're a smidge bigger, but I haven't got any myself to compare. But somebody might know in the chat. But yeah, really, really good indeed. What else we got? Talking about I've lost it. Oh, we go. So we talked about these a couple of weeks ago. Perry Plastic Spanish infantry. So they are now available pre-order. You can buy the different box sets, but also they do the pre-order brigade that they do with a lot of their figures, where you get a special one-off figure available. I guess they'll have them at Salute. So if you're interested, you can pick them up there. I'm just trying to work out whether I actually need any. I don't think I do, but you know, it may happen. Just may happen.
I think Andy's just given the emoji.
Blown up. Andy's just caught fire. Can somebody throw something on him, please? Quick now. What else we got? Baron Wars.
Yes.
New version 2. Which is coming out. I believe Andy and Paul Hicks were out at Adepticon this week, and we're talking about it there. I think they were demoing some of it, but this is a box set which has the rules and enough to do. I think a couple of retinues in there.
2 500-point retinues. It said there's no mounted stuff in it. There's 2. You could do 2 500-pointers, or I guess 1,000-point course, but it's got some barricades and some little bits of scenery in there, but it's got all of the dice and everything as well. But yeah, I think this is going to be very, very popular.
It's a very good idea to do it as a box set like that, I think. Really good indeed. So that's out. Something will excite me and probably only me, but North Star, I've got some more boxer figures. So these are Chinese Imperial troops that are coming out.
I thought you were done buying boxes now.
I have. I've done that. I don't need any. But, you know, there's a lot of Chinese in the world, mate. So I've got to have a few of them in my army, haven't I? So I don't know. These may well find their way into my basket at some point during the some purchase. So there you go. What's wrong with you two? There's a lot of Chinese. These are a lot of Chinese figures. So there you go. Imperial Chinese. I'm going to keep going anyway. Reconquer.
Yes.
April figures. So
yeah, I saw that popped up today. It's kind of just like a generic rural house, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? It's kind of cool.
Little wattle and daub house.
Really like their little buildings, don't they? At the moment, or he does.
Yeah.
Cool. Pretty cool indeed. So there's that. He's also done a whole load of dismounted men at arms or knights. They look fantastic. Really nicely dramatic. And I think is that Black Douglas? I think
it is. Yeah, it's Black Douglas. He has plans to do his death scene. And I think he just said it. He fell in love with the character so much he just kept on making more.
So he's got obviously a mounted version and a dismounted version, which is kind of cool. I do like the one with the great helm. That's a really cool figure. Yeah. And then some knights, which I thought were also extremely good.
Very cool. Very nice.
Indeed. What else? There was one other thing. Two other things that I had before you pick it up.
Yeah.
Steve, this will excite you. Wargames Atlantic.
Yes.
Classic fantasy battle box set. This is the Orc Horde.
I was having a bit of a chin wag with Andy from the Hobby Support Group about this. Very, very, very interesting.
There's a lot of orcs in those hills. So yeah, you go. Really,
I like the Wolf Riders look excellent. I really do like them.
So they're on pre-order, ready to go. So as you can see, they're 30 quid for a box, which contains an awful lot of plastic little orcs. So very cool indeed. And talking about pre-order, and this is dividing opinion, I think, everywhere. But next Epic was announced.
Yes. Yeah.
Revolution, AWI.
Yep.
which I have to say I didn't really see this one coming this early in the schedule, but interesting option. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I'm interested because I've not done AWI for anything else. The closest I've come is the French-Indian War, which, let's face it, isn't really the same at all, really, from what I'm doing. But yeah, I'm interested in it. I mean, the reason I didn't do the Napoleonics or the ECW or the I didn't do the ACW because I wasn't interested, but the other two was because I already had large 28mm armies. And as I haven't got anything for the AWI, I'm interested in it. I've taken there is some criticism coming out about it, but I mainly think it's from people who want them to do something else.
I think that's typical, isn't it? Yeah. I'm just intrigued that it's. I mean, there were some fairly substantial battles in that war, but there weren't that many. It was more skirmish types.
I
was intrigued.
That was what I was taking, because I mean, I've got a cursory understanding of the AWI. I've watched a couple of documentaries. I've watched that Rebels and Redcoats about 3 or 4 times. The history fascinates me.
Yeah,
but to actually game it, it just doesn't interest me in the slightest. I don't know what it is. I find the history fascinating.
I think it'll be a fairly small range. It'll be like the ECW stuff. It won't be a huge.
It's probably
one.
something they can do and just get done, all finished, and off they go.
And it's the anniversary this year, so
yeah, true.
That's a decent release.
That's a very good point. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure I'm going to bother with it, but then like you were saying, you haven't got. I've got 28mm AWI figures that I use for muskets and tomahawks and sharp practice, and also got enough to play small black powder games if I wish to. So I'm sort of agnostic on it, but I'm intrigued. I just thought it wasn't one I was expecting to see next, but I mean, it's very clear. I think if it ever wasn't, that they're going to be doing epic everything at some point.
Yeah, why not? No, why not? They're just making money,
exactly.
I guess. So they're going to keep going.
Any mass battle systems will have, or anything that had mass battles will probably eventually have epics, which is great. So cool. That's everything from me.
Everything from you. Okay. Mine. I always go for the sort of the sci-fi and fantasy stuff because I know you won't go anywhere near that. So I saw this because this seems to have enraged people. I don't actually see anyone that seems happy about this, and that is this seems to sort of upset people. I've got no skin in this game, because it's essentially gone the 40k kind of grim.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
And they're just saying is that fit. But for those people who are interested, BattleTech Gothic is on the way. So you can go and check out the stuff there. I saw this being played at the weekend. I still think it looks interesting, but I don't want to collect it or buy it, if that makes sense. And that's the Star Wars. No, not Legion. What's the other one? Shatterpoint. The big one. So there's some new sets out. This one, I believe, is Cassian Andor. This is the witch lady from Ahsoka with the zombie stormtroopers, because you can't have anything without them being zombies in some kind of variant these days. And you also have the other people from Rogue One, like the blind chap and the guy with the sort of rapid fire shotgun thing. So those are on release as well, and I'm going to cover it, even though anyone who cares about it will already have seen this. 3 new armies got. Well, I say 3 new. 3 armies got announced for the old world. You have the Wood Elves are back, and I had a small Wood Elf force. So those are quite. So these aren't been released yet. These are previews of what is to come. So the Wood Elves are on their way. The other one that people knew about were the Beastmen. Are on the way as well.
Giant is fantastic.
And they announced, which people generally seem happy about, though, is a brand new officer. So the first time as a miniature army from GW, it's the armies of Grand Cathay, which I believe are in Total War. And obviously they're always talked about in the lore, but this will be the first time there's a tabletop army. There's so many pictures for what they've got coming. I couldn't basically I couldn't be bothered. I just, there's the release picture. Go and have a look at the preview. This was all sort of announced at Adepticon, I think. So there's plenty for people to go and get their teeth into if you want to. Just before we finish news and just head back and talk to Glenn, also did want to say as well, I'm pretty sure that everyone in the chat and anyone who hasn't seen it shares. We heard the sad news that Paul Sawyer had passed away at the weekend, and just it's incredibly sad. And
very sad.
We just wish his family and friends,
family, really,
all the best. Which is very sad news. Just raise a glass, I think is in order. That was some sad news that came through. But of course, as Dom says, we wish them all the best. Right, that was a very lengthy news.
But on the positive, a bit of positive news. Okay, we get to drop haggises, etc. when Glenn's back from holiday. That's a yes, then, isn't it? That's a yes.
Dwarf cavalry and Highland.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, you should see some of the suggestions that are coming through.
Love it.
Jesus,
I think that's a yes, Glenn. You can start.
Yeah, I'm holding it to that one.
Yeah, I also think this may be the most a podcast with the word haggis has been mentioned.
I like that one. We need a Nessie. We need a Nessie for nautical haggis.
A nautical. Oh wow, there's a whole thing going.
And then the other one that I saw was a hagapult. Yeah, which is obviously just how to take it further. I mean, that's just awesome. But probably actually time to talk about what I would imagine, other than bases, which is what most people don't know. Your war bases. Let's have a chat about MDF. Obviously we mentioned it earlier, which is you had the first when you were last on, you had the first of the coloured range. So where are you going with that?
We are going to the Old West.
We are. Let me put the photo.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited for these.
I started working on these before I started working on anything else. But it's the one that's taken the longest to get there with. And it's the one that I'm by far and away the happiest with and the most proud about, because it's taken me so long, and I'm so happy with how they've come out.
They do look brilliant. They look so good.
Yeah, it has taken a lot of work to get there with them. These ones I think the Western builders have probably been working on for the best part of about 8 or 9 months. And I'm so excited with how they come out. There's 21 kits across the full range. And like I said earlier about the different skins for different buildings. Initially we're going to have 21 set buildings with 21 set skins. But I am going to go back through it, and I will have the ability to be able to change buildings around. So, like for example, there, Madam Wu's laundry. If you don't like it with the red fascia on the front, I can change that to a green or a blue or an orange, or even just to the wood effect that's on the back side of it as well. They're totally customizable. I can do all of that myself. So there's so much scope for it. It was quite difficult to kind of narrow it down to set designs for set kits, because I could throw different signs on different buildings. I can even take the Madam Wu's laundry sign there, downscale it, and put it onto what we've got the liquor store on the other side there.
Oh yeah.
All right.
So yeah, all the signage, all the color face, and everything like that, it's all fully customizable. I can take all of that and layer that onto different buildings accordingly as well.
That's really cool. Really, really nice. And then I mean, this is what's going to get me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, the Last Chance Saloon, we wanted that to be a statement piece for the range.
I mean, mission accomplished.
Yeah. So on our website, in the raw MDF kit, we sell that as a single story kit, but with the options for the additional floors.
Right.
For the color printed kit, we've gone the full deal, full 3 stories. Like I said, it's designed to be that big centerpiece, that statement, the corner that the fight all kicks off on, or where it all ends.
Very nice.
That is so cool.
And you can't see from the photos, but where on the boardwalk on the front there, that is also on the balcony, but it's also on the inside of the buildings as well.
Oh, okay. So you've got the infect interior as well.
So yeah, so it's just the floor. The internal walls are just raw MDF, because we can only print on one side.
Yeah. No, that's cool. No, I really like. Steve, are you getting ideas for your
Yes, honestly, it's just such a great timing, because I've got very few Western buildings. These just look, I don't like painting buildings, so these are absolutely up my street. They look fantastic.
Yeah.
That looks so cool. Oh yes.
They go together so easy because they're color printed as well. It's the 15-20 minutes or whatever it is to build it. It's on the table. It's ready to go.
Fantastic.
That's my type
Really
of terrain.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely. No, it looks awesome. And then you've got, here we go, Annabelle's as well. It's just so striking.
I know.
Yeah. So that's probably the best one. You can see the side of it. There's that lighter wood color. That is for the backs and the sides of all of the kits. It's the front face that has all the difference. And we've tried to make them bright, outstanding, punchy colors, so that they stand out. But again, like I said to you guys earlier, we can take different color faces and put different colored faces onto different kits. And I can change the signage around as well as it. So if you wanted the Annabelle sign from the Lodge House building, I can take that down, scale it, and put it onto that kit as well.
That's very cool. That's right. Now, I mean, obviously these are all going to be available as individual items. Have you got any plans for like a town pack or anything like that? Like where you can sort of do multiples or that kind of thing?
So it's not something that we discussed, but it is certainly something that we will consider. Time constraints mean obviously we can't do something like that in time for Salute, but it would probably be what we would call like a show special. You know, a special for limited stock because of the time it takes to manufacture and produce the kits.
So I'll just have to share it's one now. Working on my presentation to justify why I need more Wild West buildings. She should be back by 10:30 if not stuck outside. Oh,
good luck, Alan.
Bundles, packs, things like that are definitely something that we will look at considering. Possibly for future shows.
Okay, so these is the whole range going to be at Salute?
So we've got 21 color printed buildings for the Western range. All 21 kits will be available from Salute. They will also go online at the same time. So if you're not at Salute, then you can purchase them online. And for anybody in the UK, we're putting free postage on our website across the Salute weekend as well.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So if you're in the UK, can't attend Salute, you can still purchase them online, and you're not paying any postage just for that weekend.
That noise you can hear is Steve frantically patting everything.
If I had a Velcro wallet, it would be making massive noise. No, I'm definitely going to be on the website that weekend. That is so cool.
Oops, sorry, I just
Bring
that. That was the wrong one. I might as well leave that up now. I didn't mean to. I clicked the wrong picture, but people can pre-order these for collection.
Yeah, so not the buildings. The buildings for the show are going to be first come, first served.
Right.
But they will also be available online at the same time. So if we do sell out of a product at the show, we have a couple of extra staff this year. So Martin and I are available to talk to customers. We can take orders on the day, or like I said, it's free shipping through the website for the weekend as well. So if there's anything that we don't have that we've sold out of, you can place an order online. Likewise, if you're not able to make it to sell it, you can still get the pre-postage as well.
We'll put a reminder up we'll put a reminder up in the group, because I'm sure there's plenty of people in the PCP that are going to be very very interested. Now, I know there's a couple of Wild West players who probably think they've got enough, but I don't think they do. I think they can expand that. It does look so cool. I mean, what, without meaning to sound sort of silly, but what references were you using for them? Were you sort of looking at films, or were you actually looking at actual sort of photos and drawings and images from the Old West? What was your sort of point of reference for the design?
Anything that we could get a hold of, especially in color, which obviously is really hard, because you're kind of having a look at, you're trying to find someone that's color rendered a building, color rendered an older photo. So yeah, a lot of it has been stuff we can find on the internet, or we have had a bit of a license of creativity ourselves as well. I've not, you don't really notice it in these photos, but we've had a bit of fun with a lot of the names. The liquor store is J. Daniel's Liquor Store. With an undertaker called M. Balmer. And then the bank's called Eastwoods. Cassidy's has a dry goods store. We've had a lot of fun with a lot of the signs, just to kind of have a bit of a kind of comedic value to it, because it's the Old West. There's a lot of it's a lot of fun. It's gunfights and shootouts. So yeah, we've had a lot of fun with the range. I can't say categorically that there was a bright orange building from the Wild West, but it's just another colour that we can add in to that makes it stand out once it's on the table.
No, that's what we want. All of us at the end of the day want just the things on the table that stand out and just draw the eye, especially when it comes to terrain as well. No, that's very, very nice. Well, I could already see in the comments there are people saying yes, they're going to be getting them. Carl, it was you that I was thinking of, and I think the second board is absolutely in order. To be completely honest with you, no. That's very cool. And as James says, the combination of lodge houses, saloons, and liquor stores sounds like a perfect setting. No, that's also. I guess
I am genuinely so interested. I've got so many ideas flying through my head now. It's unbelievable.
Oh god, here we go. Oh jeez.
Absolutely awesome.
Not a word. That's not a phrase I want to hear on a Monday night.
That's very cool. So I guess that's gonna lead to the inevitable question, which always happens when someone comes on the show and like, oh, we've got this coming out, even though it hasn't actually come out yet. And bearing in mind what we were talking about earlier, and you've got 21 builds on this, where's the pre-colored stuff looking at going next? If you can what are you going to take? Are you going to just chill for a bit and just let this stuff settle in for a while?
Yeah. So our next couple of releases for buildings, we're going back to raw MDF buildings. Trying to have a look at holes in our existing range, but also to coincide with new figure ranges or new building ranges that are coming out.
Yep.
So I'm working through some more World War II style buildings, kind of northwest Europe, so France into Belgium into the Netherlands.
Okay.
Cool.
So I'm looking at those kind of things. Martin is working through some. I hope he doesn't mind me saying this. Martin is working through some Spanish Napoleonic, but it's kind of Mediterranean based. So anything along the kind of Med Coast. He's working on a lot of stuff there, farm buildings. There's a Spanish church. There's a beautiful watermill that he's working on at the moment. So,
cool.
We're kind of going back towards kind of like the raw MDF sort of thing just at the moment. In terms of color printing, I'm very early on in the stages of working on some kind of sci-fi type stuff.
Ooh, okay.
So it's a little bit more kind of left field there. You know, everything we've done to the moment's kind of been historic based. But I quite like working on kind of sci-fi sort of stuff. So I'm kind of looking at that at the moment. But that is like I'm literally on like prototype building number 1 at the moment, trying to get the core kit to work first before I can even start thinking about artwork.
The question is, are you going to see how many skulls you can fit into every single crevice? Sorry.
I was a cheap shot.
Sorry. I know. Well, it was Steve that complained about that last. Actually, I'd like it known. That's very cool. I mean, I think I've seen it come in the corners. I mean, my one will always be timber frame buildings, pre-colored timber frame buildings. Please, just to sit there with the pen doing the timber frames, which is makes life easier. But yeah, I was in a when we were going around to timber frame building recently, and I was looking at it going, this would look so cool on the table, but there is no way I'm painting all of these. I can't do it. So,
Glenn, I'm interested with the whole kind of pre versus raw MDF building thing. Do you find that more people prefer to paint their own, or and for me, it's a bit of a ball ache. I have to say, paint raw MDF. It's it soaks up a lot of paint and what have you. But I know some people love doing it and what have you. But do you find people are more inclined to buy the pre over the less or the non-prepared stuff?
I get the distinct feeling that I think because it's such a new thing still, it's still a lot in the early uptake stages. I think it's a lot like where we were 15 or 16 years ago when we first started trying to convince people to change to MDF bases.
Right.
And trying to convince people that not that it's a better product, but that if you don't want to have to build and paint buildings, it is an option. The difference with it comes with the cost increase in it, because it's something that you can just build and put down on a table versus the time to have to paint it. So yeah, no, we still see a lot of our building sales come from the raw MDF. But I'm hoping that the more that we do, the more that we push out, the more that there is an uptake on it. Actually, because you can take a kit, build it in 5-10 minutes, it's on the table and you're ready to go.
Well, they're fantastic, especially if you have ideas for games like games days and conventions and things like that, and you can just go to it. Right, we can get these. We can focus on building the game out and doing. If the core work is already done on essentially everything, and all you're doing is essentially window dressing. Then there's such a big time save, especially for people who are prepping games, and I think we'll see more and more of that get taken up. My wanting timber frame buildings is nothing to do with the fact I'm doing the second battle of St. Albans for a big game, and I need about 50 buildings. But there's nothing to do with that. No, that is really cool. I've just lost it. There was a sensible question, and I've lost it that was relevant.
Not related to haggis.
Not related to haggis, although someone has just posted, could they be haggis skulls? I mean, that's like, I feel like you have to have a toad hunter who collects who has dreadlocks like the Predator and has the skulls of a haggis. That's coming along. I mean, this is dangerous.
Could it be an anti-haggis?
An anti-haggis.
Anti-haggis hunter. I love it.
The anti-haggis.
I can see it now with a belt with a whole load of haggis.
This is going to be Michael Bay's next film, isn't it?
Yeah,
just with explosions of haggis.
Explosions and haggis and toads.
It'd be like, just imagine Tremors, but it's haggis.
Oh.
Actually, to be fair, we were playing the Hellboy board game the other week. Robin Miller and I, and in that, because it follows the Hellboy code, the frogs are the sort of the bringers of doom and destruction. You have all these bases of frogs. I was just thinking you could just swap them out for haggis and just have Hellboy.
There you go.
Fighting haggis. That would be awesome. Let's have if Glenn's happy, let's have a look at some of the questions, and I'll try and find the occasional haggis one may fall through, because I think we'll have to let me get through all the. There's a lot of comments about Dom's legs that have been stuck.
Yeah, I noticed that. I will have words with people.
Right. Okay. So let's see. So Kevin said, do you have any plans for Warbases making Dark Age buildings? Because you do raw MDF ones, don't you?
Yeah. So we do raw MDF buildings. When we first started doing laser cut buildings I think it's about 12, 14 years ago, we did do a range of Dark Age buildings. I think it was kind of coincide with, I think Saga had become really popular just at the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, we do have Dark Age buildings. If you're talking about in reference to color printed buildings, I wouldn't imagine that it's going to be high up on my list of things.
I would imagine there's not much to like. I can't see it's because they're relatively. I'm trying to think of a non-offensive way of saying boring. Because I did like not the model kits. I mean the look of a building. It's set like of an early medieval building itself. But yeah,
there's not an awful lot of variety, is there? They're very similar.
Wattle and daub and some posts and some thatch, and But I mean the one of your kits that I absolutely love is the ruined villa. Which looks awesome. I've seen so many people buy that and go to town with it, and you just have half the time it's just this rotting Roman villa in the background, while which would have been all over the place. But while people, or if like an Arthurian or a Saxon has just moved in and taken residence, I've seen some awesome stuff with those. So having decaying mosaics and maybe some frescoes, those kind of things would be very cool as well. What have we got here? Trevor said, "Are you bringing more flags out to cover the second Barons War?" I think you don't do flags. I think you're getting confused with Flags of War.
Possibly.
I mean, Ian is the other Scottish person that comes on the channel.
Yeah. There's only two of us.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. We that's our quota of Scots. Yeah. We do more. We'll fire a question over to Ian and ask him. Shaco, so James would like to know if you've ever considered doing some kind of wiggly bases on the edges.
So we already do.
Let me.
On the bases, we call them wavy-edged bases.
Which sounds sensible, to be fair. That's a sensible name. James, you need to go and look hard. James, your Google foo is normally spot on. Robin said, Steve, for the Wild West, you changed the psychic phase to a sidekick phase. Move a sidekick.
Oh, my goodness.
Excellent. David he said the haggis figures are brilliant. He's prepping them for undercoating now, so you can paint them up and unleash them on her unsuspecting gaming friends in Frostgrave. every game needs more haggis. I think Dom. I think you should.
David, in the game. We want to see them in action in game.
Dom, is it Jonathan who doesn't like anything?
Yeah,
odd?
Jonathan. No,
Just
nothing
paint
weird.
some up on a Wild West thing. Just put them in the wild. You play Dead Man's Hand. You kick in the door, and it's just a hag.
No, my plan is we're going to have some big Napoleonic, Hail Caesar battle, and while he's not looking, I'll deploy it on one flank, a unit of haggis. And just
Does he
how long
just
It just look like the ghouls anyway.
Yeah, exactly. They're just a whole load of hairy ass things, aren't they? So,
So Dom, does he just flat refuse to entertain anything of that ilk?
Basically. Yeah. Just no. You think I'm bad with weird shit? No, not having it. Not having it at all.
I genuinely thought that when you just said about that, you were going to ask Glenn for a haggis with a shaker. Sorry. Campbell says, "Is there any way Warbases can do discreet packaging like London?" My missus tells me every time I order something with spending money on wargaming bits. Well, it's also that when you get. I got my last Warbases thing came in, and my wife knew because she could smell it as it came through the door.
Yeah.
I had an order on Friday, and the first thing I did was I ripped open the Jiffy bag and stuck it over my face like a nose bag.
We'd just like to know that the Plastic Crack podcast does not endorse to put in a bags over heads in any kind of thing. What Steve does in his own time for it's entirely up to him.
Oh, smell though. Oh, it's
what else have we got here? Oh yeah, there we go. Look, there's some so John asks, as John is over there, do you have distribution in the US? He's scared if you say yes.
We do not. The long and short is we do not. And it's mostly due to paperwork. That's the simple answer. Importing the sheer amount of it gets heavy quickly. So as a result, we don't ship. We don't have a distributor in the US. We can ship to the US from our website, but we don't have anybody in the US stocking our stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
There we go. So John, that's while disappointing, has probably saved you a load of money that you were about to drop. Richard would like to know if you're going to bring your paintbrushes to Salute.
We are not. Is the easy answer? We're not. We are still accepting pre-orders up till Sunday at midnight this week. So you do have this week to place a pre-order. At checkout, there is a show collection option for Salute. Just select that, and then we'll pack up your order and have it on our stand ready for you to pop by and pick up.
It's an excellent way of doing it as well. When Dom goes, I always enjoy following Dom to your stand, and then he picks up his year's supply of bases.
That takes me they're about a week's worth there.
Yeah. And the reason he does it is because it acts like ballast in his bag as he walks around. Because as he gets tired during the day, the bag helps with everything that's in it.
That was a mistake last year, I have to say, to pick them up, saving 5p on postage to and then have to leave them at the O2 for that night. It cost me 10 quid. Carrying around all that MDF, but anyway, never mind.
James says he didn't realise that Richard Dickens was sculpting for Warbases.
Yeah. Richard's been a sculptor of ours now for about 5 years. So it's Richard that designed the dinosaurs and the toadmen and the dwarfs.
The toadmen, the toads. Who knew the toads and the haggis, the mortal enemies of times gone by. Shring so similar. He's looking at Bifrost minis, and there's a spending spree incoming. Same with Lazy Pirate Painting. He's going to be throwing the dinosaur, I believe that's in reference to, into his Kings of War armies.
Yeah, I can see that in his armies. Blimey, yeah.
Triceratops of the Guard. Absolutely. I mean, Ridley Scott would absolutely have a Triceratops in Waterloo. You know, why not? There we go. So here we go. He's naturally so glad. Another question: if you had the time, which of your figures would you choose to paint and game with? I mean, is it always take the haggis away again?
removing the haggis, any of our figures, I would love to take our undead range as a whole. So we've skeletons, with vampires and wraiths and wights. There's all sorts. I'd love to take all that stuff and put together a fantasy army for whether it be Midgard or Kings of War or the Old World, and play that. I'm a big fan of our undead as a whole. Really quite enjoy those.
Excellent. Lionheart asks, do you have any plans for historical skins for buildings in Tombstone, for example? So I guess he's talking about like actual named buildings that we know about in Tombstone.
No, is the honest answer. Yeah, probably not.
There we go. Keep it easy. Keep it simple. That's the best way. What else we got here? This is a lot of haggis questions. Will we see reduced scale haggis for use in epic covenant armies? Jonathan Ward asks, do you have 20 mil World War II MDF buildings? Because they all seem to be 28. Do you have any 20 mil?
We have a small range of 20 mil. The core of our kits are designed for 28 mil miniature wargaming. It's always where we've seen our biggest market. Whenever we've taken a range of buildings and we've released them in multiple scales, it's always been 28 that's always sold the greatest. It's not like 3D printing where you can just click, drag, and reduce scale. There's a lot of work goes into downscaling a kit, and it comes out to is it a cost effective, time effective?
Yeah.
Is it a cost-effective use of my time? And typically the answer comes back to no. In terms of production, at the smaller scale building, it is slightly quicker to produce. But it's not that much different in terms of production. We still have to go through the same processes. But because it's a small scale, we kind of have to produce it at a lower cost. Which then kind of eats into our whether it's cost effective. So yeah, whilst things like bolt action and chain of command kind of dictate 28 millimeter, that is where the core of our customer base is.
Yeah, which is completely understandable.
That's interesting because I guess a lot of people who aren't familiar with the whole process would sort of assume, it's 20 mil or a 15 mil building is considerably cheaper to produce, but clearly that isn't the situation at all.
We still have to go through the same processes. Someone has to still stand there at a laser cutter, put MDF into it, take the MDF out of it. We still have to go through the same process of packaging it up and sending it out. All those processes are still the same. The production time it really isn't that much different for the smaller scale.
And if you're not selling as much anyway, then doubly it not cost effective to do it. I understand. Yeah.
No, completely. And my other question was going to just give me. I just remembered what it was now, and I can't remember. I can't seem to find it back in the chat, and I know I didn't imagine it. You obviously, with things like, because you've done it with Midgard, which I think is probably the one that sticks to people's heads at the moment. You make quite a lot of gaming aids and tokens, as well. And the Midgard, the Midgard ones are awesome. We're using that in our games, and I think I'm going to be using them in other games as well, just to remind myself who's charged. In fact, Dom is the first person who I saw actually use stuff to remind me who charged in games. I sat there thinking, why the hell haven't I done that before? And those arrows that you've
Yes.
done there. Do you get a lot of people approaching you for gaming aids, and because obviously Midgard is its own system and it was going to be quite big, or because you obviously have the option for custom MDF tokens, which I've used before, and acrylic tokens. But do you get approached a lot by people and stuff like that?
Yeah, there's 3 or 4 companies that we work with relatively regular. The big one, the most obvious one, is Two Fat Bodies.
Yeah.
We've had a working relationship with Richard for somewhere between 12 and 15 years, I think now. And things like Midgard with the tokens that we printed for them. Richard had that artwork designed by John at Handiwork Games, and we were given the print file, and we printed it and manufactured it for him. But yeah, there are a few folk that we work with. We work with people like Carl at Crooked Dice as well, to produce kind of tokens and templates and things like that.
Yeah.
So there are a few. There's one which I can't talk about, but dropped into our email box at the end of last week, which will be exciting if that comes to something, because that's a new company that we've not worked with before. So that's something that we're working on at the moment. We're hoping can go somewhere. But yeah, no, we do work with a few companies. A lot of our stuff that we design ourselves in house is from customer requests.
Yeah.
We see an upturn in customer requests for the same product, for a new set of buildings or a new set of figures or a new set of rules. And it's something that we'll take and work on and then add. So, we worked with James, for example, to get the Midgard face right. We worked with him to make sure that everything was how it is in the rules, so that a customer reads the rules and the terminology in the rules is the same as the terminology in what we're selling on our website at the same time.
Yeah. No, that's perfect. So it's just straightforward. This is what I need. I mean, that's been the trays are great, especially, and also what I like about the way you design the trays is there are still options within them. There is still some customization with a number of people on the basis, how tight you want the troops, what kind of look you're going for, as well. So there is some room in there. But it was just something I was curious about, because obviously I see sometimes when a game releases, they have, they produce their own, or they get it produced somewhere else. So, and it seems to be something that more and more companies are doing, is getting their own like sets and things done, which I think is a good thing, especially if you rather than having to photocopy the back of the rule book and cut out things and then going through all of that. Double Dip is just asked, what's the cutoff date for placing an order for collection?
This Sunday.
This Sunday.
So you still have all of this week.
So that's the 6th. Yeah.
Midnight on the 6th into the 7th.
There you go. So you still got some time to add your shop to fill up your shopping list.
Yeah. How many haggis can you get in your basket?
Midnight 6th into the 7th. That's our cutoff.
That's it. Maybe we should do that at the PCP, Dom, for CrackCon. It's just buy loads and loads and loads of the haggis miniatures, put them in a jar. Like when you're trying to guess how many mini eggs are in
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And we just fill it with haggis. And then get people to guess. And every entry is £2, and then whoever wins all the haggis, and then all the money goes to charity.
Lovely.
Can I say, if we do that, I want to see Ken's method.
Ken's method.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
God,
he'll end up with a lot, won't he? He's a bugger.
So can I share this? No, actually, no, I can't.
Yeah, go for it.
No, I can't. It'll hurt me. I'll share it next week when he's on the stream, and I can embarrass him into his face.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think it's time we'll give Glenn a break. Should we have a look at some viewers' photos? I see you uploaded them because I very kindly said I might be under the needle. What be under? Whatever a dentist uses. Under the drill. Oh yeah, you said. Oh yes, when I told Dom I was at the dentist, he said enjoy the driller killer. By the way, if anyone's watched the film The Driller Killer, That's well worth.
That's an interesting. I watched it on when I had my Halloween bonanza a couple of years back. I think I started off with Driller Killer.
I know instantly if you say you've watched a film, then I should not watch it.
Well,
Have you watched The Raid yet?
No, I haven't yet. No, I haven't.
Dom.
I had to pay for it on rental, and I'm tight ass like that. I'm not going to pay for a rental. So
I'm tight. I buy 10,000 miniatures a month.
Exactly.
I'm not going to rent a film.
You won't pay £3 for a film.
Yeah, totally right. I'll wait till it's free.
That's less than the price of a pot of contrast paint.
Oh,
right.
my word.
We have
camels.
We have Chris and we have some camels.
Those look rather good.
They're
Don't they?
nice.
I think he wasn't sure what the manufacturer was, but I think they're Reconquers, aren't they?
I think they are the Reconquer ones. Yeah, they are. They are. I do love my camels. They've done nothing in any game I've used them in. They're like my Mamluks, right? But I love them. I do love them. They're very cool. Always nice to see. Oh wow!
Oh, nice.
So these are from Dave.
Yeah, they're rather nice, aren't they?
They're
I do
lovely.
like the foliage on the bases too.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I like it. He's not overdone it though. It's I think that's very cool.
No, it's easy
Like how it looks
with painting that particular unit or regiment. It's very easy to go over the top with the camouflage, but no, Dave's nailed it there. He really has.
Yeah, very cool.
Tim says he saw Driller Killer when it first came out.
It's an odd film. It's a very odd film.
It's
Abel Ferrara, so what you expect.
Oh, nobody should watch Driller Killer. Oh wow! So Anthony's been doing Xenomorph.
Yeah.
They're very cool.
They're lovely.
I'm always impressed when people manage to get that sort of
metallic,
metallic.
Yes.
Look. Yeah.
I really struggle with mine. I really struggle painting mine. They look a bit crap actually compared to those. They're brilliant.
Those are
nailed
lovely. Really nice, lovely stuff. Craig has been working on Spanish.
Yeah. He had a couple of regiments of Spanish Napoleonics, and they look amazing, don't they?
See, now that makes me want to go buy the Perry stall as
well.
And add to it. Those are lovely, lovely. Edward.
Hey.
I mean, I've put them down off the website, but I have no idea what they are. So.
I don't know what they are, but they look awesome.
Apparently, he said they're from the Horus Heresy.
Oh, okay.
Like Mechanicus from the Horus Heresy.
I do like all the mounts. I really like the basing as well.
Yes.
I like the effects on the bases. They're very, very nice.
Very nice.
Very cool stuff. And he's picked up this. So,
yeah,
so these are Warbases buildings.
Yeah.
These are from Jonathan. That's really nice. That's
Russian
really
building.
I like how he's based it all.
It's a little fortified place straight away, isn't it? Just a little self-contained for GDA or black powder. Very cool.
Very cool. I really like that. Very, very nice. Jonas was playing a game of Bolt Action. That's really nice. Again.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Desert Troops. Yeah.
Cool.
Very nice.
Lovely.
Do like a railway line in a game.
I've never played a game with a railway line.
Yeah, I had one recently. I put one on a game.
Kurt has been doing goblins.
Hey,
everything's better with goblins.
Everything's better.
Yeah, I know what they are too, Martin. Just saying.
Yes, I know, but there's one who comes on the stream every other week. Sean has been working on some 15 mil stuff.
Lovely. That's all 3D printed.
15 mil as well. Brilliant. Lovely.
All 3D printed. Just so nice.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Very nice stuff. Silas. This is
it was at that was it West Midlands model show or whatever it was at the weekend. So I think this is a big battle they put on.
Very nice. Very, very cool. No, Moonstone.
Yeah. I picked this one up because I thought we talk about Moonstone all the time. So Steve said he had a 3-on-3 Moonstone game. So that was it.
Again, it's because the whole thing with the moonstones, which is what the D4s are, is your objectives basically, and you hold your fist full of the D4s above your table. You drop the D4s, and where they land, that's where the moonstones are buried. And the number they land on is you basically, it takes that many rounds to dig them out. So if it's landed on a 3, you spend an action, it turns it to a 2. You spend an action, it turns it to a 1, and then you dig it out. So it lands on a 1. It's near the top, and then you win the moonstones. I've played it once, and we did it randomly, and typically the D4s all landed on my wife's side of the board.
Of course I did.
Yeah.
What I'm really concerned about is what's happened to Rudolph in that picture. I mean,
it's the jackalope.
He really let himself go, hasn't he?
What that picture needs is more haggis. Absolutely. No, very nice. And then Joseph has painted up Saruman and Tyrion. Is that from
I think it is
Game of
Tyrion,
Thrones?
isn't it? Yeah, I think it is.
That's very cool. I love what I know. This sounds weird, but I love what he's done with the Palantir. That Saruman, with the Eye of Sauron. Because I think most people take the coward's way out, which is what I would do, and just paint it black.
What I particularly like is his two, the mounted Sauron and the dismounted one, exactly the same. I mean, I know the models are modeled the same, but he's got the color texture exactly the same. Whenever I do a dismounted version of a figure, they don't look the same.
Do you think he did? Do you think after he did each sleeve, it was like, right, I'm going to get that pattern right? That needs the same paint there. They're awesome stuff. Remember, guys, you can find the Facebook group down below. Just come in, answer Dom's questions free, and then come in. We're getting up towards 1,800 people down in the group. It's busy. We love seeing pictures of your games, whatever it is you're doing. Just showing all things wargaming. Glenn, thank you so much for taking the time to hang out with us. I think it's fair to say, I think you're going to have a few sales. Whether that's for Toad people or for Kobolds, or it's going to be Wild West Buildings, I don't know, or hopefully all three. But they'll be coming, and we'll of course we'll swing by and say hi, salute. Dom and I will be there. I don't know if Steve's venturing south. Glenn's coming way further than you have to travel.
I'm flying in and out on the day.
No, but I'm an inherently lazy person.
No, that's very awesome.
I'm flying in and out on the day, but I'm getting up at 3 a.m.
Yeah, but you got a young child, so that's normal.
I'd normally be up about then anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Because Friday 3 a.m. I'm normally still up anyway. So.
But you're playing like Lawnmower Simulator or something like that.
I don't play that anymore. It's not on Game Pass. I've got to buy it.
See, there you go. And you're moaning about me, 23 quid, and you won't buy that when you played it.
It's 15 quid.
Oh, yeah, but you played it incessantly.
Why don't you just go buy a lawn? Oh no, you live in a flat. Why don't you go mow your lawn? That's just like mow someone's lawn.
My carpet may object to it.
Oh dear. Well, guys, next week. Where are we next week? We haven't decided yet.
I don't think we've decided.
It's probably me. I think, but we'll have a chin wag throughout the week and get a graphic up before Friday, hopefully.
Thank you for committing me to getting a graphic up before Friday.
Oh, sorry, Martin.
I really thanks. I will. Right, on that note, Glenn, once again, thank you very much for joining us. Guys, remember to go check out Warbases' website. You can find it all down below. If you're coming to Sleep, make sure you get your pre-orders in by next Sunday. We will see you guys all again next week on a channel yet to be decided. But we will see you all then. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.
Say bye.